Workbooks is really cool. It reminds me. I'm sure it helps.
Yeah. What time for? Oh, so Paul's already going. Wonderful.
Yes.
We're coming on now. Okay, we're live now.
Corona all the time.
So they probably heard that. Oh. Just a minute, everybody, if you're here. All right, here, I gotta copy it. Okay. I had most of it done. I just have to send it. Okay. Okay, it's launching now. So let me get back on you. Okay, there's you. Let me. Okay. Okay, so we have 2 watching.
Yay.
More should be joining as they get the message. Hopefully. All right. Hello, everybody. We have 1 person in the chat. Hello, Celine. How are you? Let me say your name right. All right, we're up to 5. They're joined now. So welcome, everybody. We're glad you could come tonight. I know we have a little bit of competition. I was talking about it at the beginning. Someone's live streaming again during this time. So don't go over to his channel. Stay on our
You already know all about the coronavirus. Yes. Already.
We know the coronavirus is going on, so you don't need to listen to that. This is more important. So, so go ahead. You know the drill. Karen, you want to tell them, like, subscribe, all that good stuff?
Yes. Go ahead and hit like on this video right now. Every like helps this video get more views. Go ahead and comment, share this with your friends, share this on your favorite social media platform.
She does that better than me. I need to have her.
No.
I feel so silly saying it every week.
It's hard to self-promote, but you know, come on, everybody. Cassandra works really hard on this channel, invests a lot of time. This is how you can invest back in the channel and give back.
I should make like a little trailer for doing that and just play it at the beginning. So
yes, like a radio, like a little commercial.
Oh, they said Alicia said that he just ended. He ended already?
He's probably going to restart it. Technical difficulties.
Yes, he's going to restart it. But she said she turned it off for us. So good job, Alicia.
Thank you for your loyalty. We appreciate it.
And we're up to 22. So there we go. There
nice.
We go. Okay. So let's get into it. Most of you know, and there's Dawn. Most of you know Mrs. Karen Rodriguez. She is like a wealth of information with lots of stuff, building websites. She built Gently Led Sisters website. She built Liberty's website. My husband was very happy with it. So she does all that. And then she, does our house.
Yes. Our House YouTube channel, ourhousehomeschooling.com. And I do a little bit of homeschool coaching with Karen.com. So basically, yeah, homeschooling stuff. And then I like to do websites for fun too.
Mm-hmm. She does a good job. So if you need a new website, she's your woman. So
thank you. Thank you for the plug.
Yes, it's good. No, I always think of like, whenever I say our house, I have to think about it because I always want to say our home for some reason, our home. But then I think of that little song.
Our house. Yeah, that's where it came from.
But I'm like, oh yeah, it's our house. So I have to think about that. Okay, so I just had this idea and she was gracious enough to join me because I feel like you're just a guru when it comes to homeschooling. I feel like you have it like all together and you're just like ready to go and your routine and all the stuff that you do. So I wanted to have you on to talk about it. So I asked her just a few days ago to join and she did. But let's talk about first things first, going into this. If you've been thrown into it, what are some things to remember if you're just like, you're stuck at home and now you have to do something for your kids?
Yes.
So you give us some ideas.
Okay. Well, first things first, and we and I talked about this, how if you work outside the home and you're working from home and your kids usually go to public school, but now they're home with you, don't think, is this what it's like to homeschool? Forget it. Not for me. Okay. This is very special, different circumstances. Usually, we're not stuck at home. We can go to museums. We can go to the park. We can do alternative education kind of things. we're all home right now. There's added stress, which raises cortisol levels, and it's added stress level right now. And some of us do have hobby business, like you have your piano thing. I do my little things too, but we worked up to it. We worked it into our schedule. It wasn't like one day, boom, you have this full load and you're home and you're homeschooling. So it was like a gradual thing. So just keep that in mind. This is not like the test run, thinking, oh no, if this is what it's like, I can't do it. It's not normally like this, Right. So just that to keep in mind. That's the first thing I would say.
Oh yeah, no, that's good points too, because, and like you said, even when I started teaching piano, it was like with 5 students,
right?
And then 7 students, and gradually up to what I'm at now. So you kind of just get used to it with the routine and everything. And then like for some of us, the routine is just a normal part of life. But if this is suddenly new to you, I remember when I first was actually homeschooling, it was very overwhelming. And I was very stressed out and I cried a lot of tears, and I'm sure my kids did too. I was very stressed out. And so it can be very, very overwhelming at the beginning. But just remember, especially now, you can do this. If you have to do, we can do anything we have to do, right?
Yes, exactly. Philippians 4:13, write it all over the place, hang it on your refrigerator. You can definitely do this.
You can totally do this. But it's not as overwhelming as you think, because one thing that we want to get across with this is you can learn in a lot of different ways, and it doesn't have to be, your basic, you have the curriculum for each 5 subjects and you have to sit there for a specific amount of time or whatever. So we really want to get that across in this, I almost said podcast, in this show.
Yes.
All right. So What are some other things, Karen?
So really think of this like weightlifting, just increasing it. You're not trying to bench the whole, I don't even know what a max weight is, but you're putting little weights on there at a time. And yes, you will learn as you teach your kids. So if you're thinking, I don't know how to teach a high school student, middle school student, I didn't get that far, whatever, really, there's self-taught curriculums that we're going to talk about, and you really do learn with it's a great opportunity to get the education that you didn't get when you were in public school. So first of all, if you feel like I'm not equipped to teach my student, then the public school failed you. So don't have high hopes in it. You can do just a greater job, even better. So yeah, you will learn with your kids as you go. You really don't have to stay that far ahead of them, especially if you're doing a self-taught curriculum. Let them take responsibility for their own education too.
Yes. When I was homeschooled, I actually, we did a set curriculum. We did Bob Jones University curriculum. And I did not excel very well when it came to math. I was very rusty with math. In fact, when I took my ACTs, I scored pretty low in math, but because I was a reader, and I just read all these books all the time, I was very good at grammar, writing, because of this history and science, because I retained what I read. And because of that, I scored super high on those parts of the ACT. So it all balanced out and I had a really good score. So, even if you are lacking in some areas, as long as I believe they have a strong foundation of reading and writing, like you said, you have your kids read every day and write every day. And I think that's a huge thing for having a good foundation.
Yes, just focusing on the 3 R's, because really, if you're strong on reading, writing, math, you can teach yourself anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally. Because I'm still learning. I mean, I research stuff. I learn all the time. Both me and you, we love to read. We're always reading books, trying to gain knowledge and things like that. So,
yes. And let your kids see you reading and doing all that. That's going to spark their interest in learning too, and get excited. Like you said, being an example, if you're excited about this, they're going to be excited about it.
I know, because my husband and I were talking about this. I said, I think I'm going to do this for a show, and I'm going to ask Karen to do it with me. And he was like, I think if you guys just focus on telling them, if you just had your kids read a half hour a day, they'll probably learn more doing that on the break than they would a whole week of school.
Yes.
So,
especially if they're reading something that they're interested in. Like you and I, we read books that we're interested in. If we were forced to read something that there was a wall up, it's not the same.
Mhm.
So interest-led learning, reading is so much more effective than the other models in public
Right.
school.
Yeah, if you like threw a book about banking at me or something,
Exactly.
that would not be good. But yeah, one thing I've noticed too along the same lines as learning as you teach your kids, most of us, if you're not a school teacher, I have a couple cousins that are school teachers, so they're doing this all the time. So it's refreshed in their memory. But think about how long it's been since you graduated, and then how much have you even used that stuff. Well, the nice thing about homeschooling is that you're constantly being refreshed, because like me, I have a senior and then a sophomore, I have an eighth grader, all the way down to kindergarten. So this stuff is constantly being refreshed in my mind. Have you noticed that with your kids?
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, no, that's another benefit for sure.
Yeah, it's just we get to use our brains,
Yes.
not turn into mush all the time. But yeah, I want to definitely stress as we go to, it's not about the quantity or a certain number of hours.
And I had written down too, remember to take a break, having some tea or coffee, and go outside 5-10 minutes. Don't feel like you just have to go. Every minute has to be educational. You need breaks. Kids need breaks. You need breaks too.
Yep. I feel like with my kids, from the time that they start school, no, I can't say that all the time because Lana's really bad about getting up during her school, but I feel like most of them are just like nose to the grindstone for like 2 or 3 hours until they get it done, because then they have the time to do whatever they want to do. But I feel like most of them are just like, but I have older ones too. So I think that plays into it. But you might have a kid like that, and then you might have a kid that's just like pokey the whole day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with the older kids, especially like you and I do self-taught, they really do just get up and want to get it done. So that's great. But if you have a lot of little ones and you're kind of teaching them all phonics or math facts, whatever, just remember to take a break between kids, and, just take a little break.
Yes, my 6-year-old, she just turned 6. My 6-year-old definitely needs a lot of little breaks.
Yeah.
Her schooling. And she does the video school, but she'll pause it. I need a drink. And then she'll pause it. I need a snack. But hey, I guess that's a nice thing about homeschooling, right?
Yeah, because it takes them, in public schools a whole day, 5, 6, 7 hours. So a lot of that is just shuffling around, paperwork, attendance, other things. So you can really do the same, more work in such a short fraction of the time.
Right. Because I know I was saying earlier, my sister actually, her kids are in public school, and it's on, Illinois is in almost total lockdown. And so she actually texted and said, how many hours of school do you guys do? How many hours of school am I supposed to do? Like, is there a law? How many am I supposed to do? And my sister-in-law had actually said that she thought technically it's 4 hours of school a day. I don't know though. I guess you would have.
Some states have different requirements. Some states will give you like a time frame and attendance number that you have to hit, and whatever.
Yeah, I don't think Illinois is picky about that. But yeah, my kids are probably done. 4 hours is the longest I think my kids will do school. But that whole time, like I said, especially with my older ones, it's nose to the grindstone. So they're actually doing their work. It's not all the breaks and stuff that you were talking about. But let's talk about the different type of families, and the different types of just kind of homeschooling routines. Let's go into that a little bit. So,
okay, should I go over the homeschool styles first?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's about 5, maybe 6 main homeschooling styles. We have traditional, where you have grade levels, and each child has their own materials for each subject, kind of like the public school model. Okay, so that's traditional. Unschooling, that's kind of like where interest led to the max. Then there's unit studies, where kids are on their own level for math and language arts, but then they can do all the other subjects with their siblings, like geography, history, Bible, things like that. Then we have classical, where they follow a trivium, that 3-step Trivium, that's another style. And then Charlotte Mason is a really popular one where you do, where you're really focusing on living books. Everybody's on their own, again, for math, language arts, but then all the other subjects, you can kind of combine them, but it focuses more on nature, art, music, that kind of stuff. I don't know where ACE and Robinson curriculum kind of go. I guess maybe you could count distance learning or online learning, and then eclectic, where you kind of have some overlap and mix. And then RC, I don't know, that's kind of a little bit of traditional. And
yeah, it's a little bit of traditional because you've got the age appropriate math,
right.
but then it is interest led as well, because but then you've got the books and
you have a book list and writing every day. Yeah. So, but mainly these are like the most popular homeschooling curriculum. RC is not very mainstream yet. So yeah, this is the main ones. So then from there, if you want to talk about the different routines based on whatever curriculum you choose to do.
Right. I actually knew, I had a friend that her parents were former military, and they had to homeschool them for a time. And they did this just I put it as the Army routine, just super rigid, like bugle horn in the morning, not really, but I could see them probably playing a CD that had it. They were so rigid. It was like, up at 6:30, brush your teeth, bake your bed, do your Bible reading, get to the breakfast table by 7, start school by 8. So there are some families that works really well for. Very, very rigid. I would probably be so stressed out using that method. So I am not really the whole Army, rigid, do this, drop and give me 20 type personality.
Right.
I used to be, and I think maybe that's where the stress came in when I first started homeschooling, because I did want to stick to a schedule. But then when you're having babies like we do, and you're just tired all the time and you're drained, and it's just really, you heap all this guilt upon yourself if you don't get everything accomplished or have it accomplished by a certain time. So I've learned to lower my expectations quite a bit. So I would probably put myself in number 2, which is kind of the medium structure, the traditional school type of routine, not as many hours, but just where, I have a loose schedule, or maybe I'm more of the, we've been homeschooling for years routine.
Right. You have a routine and the kids know what they're supposed to do. So
they do. And I mean, we get up, as long as I start school by 9, because I normally start piano lessons at 9 is my earliest that I start. So I want everything done before that. They're supposed to eat breakfast, take care of their rooms, do all that before 9. And then by 9 we start, and they're usually working up until about 12:30 is when they finish. So what does your schedule look like?
Same, 8 to 9, where I'll get started. Sometimes we'll do Bible time together, but like you said, the kids just kind of want to get to work. So they'll kind of just start math. And then in that case, we'll do Bible time in the evening during our read aloud time. And then I just work with the younger kids here and there with each one until lunchtime, and the kids are going until lunch. And even still after lunch, it's like that quiet reading time where we'll read for another couple hours. But yeah, like what you said, homeschool burnout is a very real thing. If you're feeling burnt out, then your routine or whatever your schedule, it might not be working out, and it's okay. There are so many options and resources available. Try something else. When it feels kind of, going with the flow and natural, and you don't dread it, then you found your groove, right?
Yes. And I really definitely have found my groove the last 2 years. And I know a lot of it's because my kids are getting older. They have the good foundation of reading and arithmetic. So they're kind of doing things like, ACE is very self-taught, self-motivated. So they know what's expected of them, how many pages per day they're supposed to do. So I do feel like that's a lot of it. But I spent a couple of years when I first started homeschooling very stressed out of my mind. In fact, one of my best friends, the one that died, Kelly, she really feels that beginning homeschooling and planting a church is what led to her cancer.
Really?
Yes, because she was just stressed out all the time. So after she was diagnosed, and a couple of her kids started going to an IFB church across town, the pastor's wife was teaching them the same curriculum just at the church to kind of help Kelly as she was going through chemo and all that. She would kept telling me, like, if I was having a bad day, don't stress, calm yourself. You need to calm down, just take a break. It's not worth it. And so that's what I think her getting the cancer and really seeing that she believed a lot of it was caused by stress. It really taught me to just tone it down quite a bit when it came to school, because I really do believe that stress plays a lot when it comes to your health and your well-being and your mental state. So I really took it down a couple notches after that. And it's been a lot easier. It's been, I've been happier for it. So it's not worth it if the kids have a totally stressed out mom all the time, especially if it's going to hurt your health. So yes, you definitely have to keep that in mind.
Yes, I always think it's really not worth it. And anytime that kind of thoughts or anything could creep up, I just ask myself, am I okay right now? Yes. You ask your kids, if they're stressed out, frustrated with their work, are you okay right now? You're fine. You're okay. You're unhappy because you're thinking unhappy thoughts. You're stressed because you're thinking stressful thoughts. So change the story that you're telling yourself in your head. Change it to something else and have a much better outcome and day.
Yeah, because it does begin in your head. And, if you're constantly, oh, I hate this so much, why do I have to be with my kids 24/7 stuck in this house? That's really going to come out through your actions. And, positive thinking. You have to have positive.
Yes, especially right now, especially homeschooling during a pandemic. Keep that in mind.
Yes, that's probably one of the things we need to get across the most through this is that, I know there's a lot of stress and anxiety because people don't know what's going on. It's a little fearful. You don't know how bad it's going to be. But just take this time. Don't focus so much on being rigid and, I got to cram all this learning in their head while I have them during these 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. But just, relax and spend time, making memories. And I know for us, Monday is our very low, calm, stress-free day that we just kind of chill. And I think that's good for my kids starting the week out that way because we're at church all day on Sunday, most weeks. So I think it's good just to have a down day. Do you take any down days? But now you do it 6 days a week, don't you?
Yeah, we try. That's the goal, 6 days a week and year round. But that frees me up to take time off whenever during the year. Like when the weather's nice. For us, that's like December, winter time versus you, summertime, you're enjoying good weather where we can't really be outside except for swimming. So we'll still do reading and school and math. So yeah, but this past week, we took it really easy. Just a lot of reading and board games and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially if the whole country's turned upside down, don't focus so much on just the little things. Just focus on building family relationships and all that. And we'll go over that more in a little bit. But
yes.
And then there are people that actually hold to we have no routine. So like, people, they let their kids sleep in till 10 o'clock, just when they get up, you want to eat, you can eat, you can eat, you don't have to eat. Here, do you want to do school? Do you not want to do school? I'm not that way, but
it sounds like chaos to me. A recipe for disaster, but I don't know. I guess for some parents, it could work. I don't know.
Yeah. Michelle said, this pandemic was what asked some of my kids to switch over to homeschool. They recognize they are behind, they're adopted, and they had been in foster care. So welcome to homeschooling, Michelle.
Yes. God works all things together for good. Maybe this situation is what you needed to, make that change.
And Chantel asked, she's actually studying to be a teacher and she went to public school. So she's used to that type of schedule. How do you balance homeschooling with ministry activities? So now I know you do some ministry things throughout the week, don't you? Like church on Wednesday, that's in the evening though. So that's kind of a given. Don't you do something on Friday?
No, I mean, I help Samantha, but she does really most of it for keepers of the home and, little things like that. But I don't know. You just balance it. You just gradually, like we talk about, increase things that you do, balance it with homeschooling. If it feels like it's too much burnout, you need to scale back, say no to some things, even if they're great things, right? It's maybe not a no, but not right now. and then you get that groove going, you get systems in place, and then you can take on more.
Mm-hmm. Or, you know, for me, a lot of it is I have the kids involved with me. You know,
Yes.
when it comes to, we clean the church every 4 or 5 weeks. Our whole family cleans the church. You know, last week I was dropping a meal off. So instead of making the meal, I just did drive-through because our drive-throughs are still open. So I just did KFC, but then I got the kids some KFC as well. So then they saw me drop, you know, we dropped the meal off to them, and then we went and ate KFC at the church. So, you know, just having them involved. Honestly, I mean, Sundays I'm at church all day, and that's a long day. And then Wednesdays, Wednesday night we have church. But as far as like other ministry things, we'll have like special events throughout the year, but there's not like a lot more that really goes into it. You know what I mean? Like our church isn't super huge yet. So there are some times when I need to drop off meals for ladies or throw baby showers. But in that case, once again, my kids help me.
Right. I think with family integrated churches, it's like that. But I have gone to churches where they'll keep you very busy. Like I taught ESL for one church at night, you know, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it depends on the church. But yeah, if you're going to a family integrated, you can do most everything with your family.
I mean, we, even for our Valentine's banquet every year, it's for the whole church.
Yeah.
So the whole church does our Valentine's banquet. So yeah, there's not much that we do where it's the kids are off doing their thing and we just all kind of do it together.
Yeah.
So yeah. Samantha said the Keepers of the Faith meetings are only once a month. I thought you did that every week.
Oh no, that's a lot of work.
You're like, oh no.
Trying to come up with all the ideas. Samantha knows. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually probably spend more time running this channel, which I consider a ministry, than anything from church. You know what I mean? So yeah, and you're probably the same way. You probably spend more time running your channel.
It's a labor of love.
Yeah. And it's the same reason you want to get the resources out to everyone and help people on their homeschool journey. So
yes, I will say it helps if you wake up before the kids wake up, you know, just that in general, waking up before they do and getting maybe something going for breakfast, or just you taking some time to just read your Bible and drink your coffee, whatever. It really will help you start the day off right and work on these little ministry things or projects, whatever it is that you're doing. That's a great time to do it. I used to stay up really late and work on stuff, and it's really not productive. You're tired. That's not your best quality of work. It's better to just get up really early and do it and go to bed early.
Mm-hmm. She's great at doing that. I'm not quite there yet.
Well, I made a lot of mistakes during the years, so I've learned.
I'm not quite there yet. I'm working on it. Working on it. My dates, when I get up at 6 and my kids don't normally wake up till about 7:30. If I just have that hour before they get up, it does make my day go so much better. And
yes,
I need to think of that more than thinking of that extra hour of sleep. So it definitely does help for sure. So
even if you could prepare, I was gonna say, even if you prepared too the night before, like I always remember, if I'm using Mrs. Anderson's breakfast recipes, I got to put 2 sticks of butter in the oven with the light on so they soften. That makes a big difference in the day right there.
And she has some recipes in there, like the overnight waffles are really good. And then
yes,
just mix that all up the night before, let them sit out, and then you just scoop it in the waffle iron the next morning. That's so easy. Or baked oatmeal. I've done quite a bit. Crockpot oatmeal.
Yeah.
That's a good one too. That does. And when I think ahead for breakfast, that makes my day easier too, for sure.
Yes. Big difference.
It does. I'm good. I'm good about that. Like maybe 3 days out of the week. 3 out of my 5 school.
And then one day is cereal.
Yes. One day is fend for yourself, make the toast, make the cereal, whatever.
Yes.
3 days.
We're keeping it real here at Gently Led Sisters.
Always. So do you do anything to help get your kids involved with helping you keep the house clean?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Do you want to see my charts here?
I don't have charts, but I just tell them.
I did this on Canva. You could do this on Canva, and then I just printed it on Walgreens, you know, and it just has like every day, who's going to do the dishes, who's clearing, who's sweeping, toys, backyard, who's going to help in the kitchen, who's doing laundry that day, because we do laundry every day, so we kind of rotate it so not everybody's clothes are all mixed up. Girls do their laundry, boys, me and Joe, stuff like that. And even I put here like one-on-one time. I try to do half an hour one-on-one time with each kid, and so each day, and then I just put this in the kitchen so everybody knows what's up, every day.
See what I said about her being things? That's crazy. It's like
it's easy,
frames and everything, all nice and fancy. That's amazing. And you designed that yourself, right?
Yeah, but Canva has templates. So just search for schedule template, free, and then you can just, fill it in. And then Walgreens always has poster coupons, that was like $3, IKEA frame. So that's like a $5 project there, but it's done forever and everybody knows what's going on every day.
That's really cool. You'll have to like send me a picture just of that so I can see exactly what you did.
Yes, I will.
Really cool. Yeah, I need to do better. Everyone kind of just has their own area in my house and they kind of have their own like little chores they always do. And I've asked them before, do you guys want to swap? Do you want to switch? But they kind of like having their own little area.
Jobs.
So they kind of, it's just like, okay, Abby, do this, Chloe, do this. I just kind of tell them where to go. So.
And it's nice when they're older, you can have them train their buddy. Like we have a buddy system in our house, like, okay, train your buddy how to clean the bathroom. Things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so we need to get moving. We're like taking a long time. That's okay. So there are some things, obviously, you guys know I am a music teacher. So one of the things during this pandemic is you're going to have lots of time to practice. Lots of time to practice, lots of time to read your books. So I urge parents that have kids that are taking lessons to do practice sheets and then maybe keep it by the piano, put little stickers. Yes, just like that. Check marks or something.
It really helps. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And then, I'll even tell them when I worked at the studio, I would have like a little treat bag of just Dollar Tree stuff that I'd gotten. So I, tell the parents now when they fill it, take them out for an ice cream cone. And then plus you have your one-on-one time too. Obviously we can't go sit somewhere and eat ice cream right now, but maybe by the time they have their practice sheet filled out, things will be back to normal. So
Yes. I like that. That's what I'm talking about. Keeping kids accountable for their education. Like, I have this form that I created for self-taught math where they mark down how many errors they got on each lesson. And so a visual like this, like you have visuals where they can see their progress, something to check off. It really does help.
Mm-hmm. Just definitely. Ashley asked, what is your bedtimes? This is bad for me because I have older kids. My older kids, I have an 18 and 17-year-old. So they don't really have a set bedtime. I think they pretty much go to bed whenever I turn the Wi-Fi off. I turn the Wi-Fi off every night at around 10. So I'm thinking about 10 is when they go to bed. And then Abby usually goes to bed pretty early because she's like you, Karen. She loves to get up early. And on the days I teach piano, she helps with baby. So she'll get up 2 or 3 hours before everyone and do her school.
Wow.
So, yeah, she gets up early. So she's usually in bed by 9. And then my younger girls, it's usually no later than 9 or 9:30. Now I know you guys are a little bit earlier.
So yeah, my husband gets up at 4:30 and it's a small house, everything is loud, echoey. So everybody kind of has to go to sleep at the same time. So we go to bed like 7:30, 8 p.m., like old people, like really, really early.
So you get up early.
I get up with, 4:30 with him, but the kids sleep until 7, usually 7 a.m. But now summer's coming, so it's going to be bright like 5 a.m. So we'll see, but yeah.
Wow. If I tried sending my kids to bed at 7:30, I think there would be a revolt. Things would not go well. They would be like, 7:30. But my older 3 kids talk about when they were younger, and they still hold a grudge about this. They're so bitter about it. And they're like, you would put us to bed at 7 o'clock and it would be light out and we would be laying there listening to all the kids play outside. And I'm like, you don't understand. I had 3 kids, 3 and under. I needed it for my sanity.
Yes. Especially, when you just have littles, you need to put them to bed early. Yes.
So, you definitely, I'm like, you know what? I don't even give you an official bedtime now. So no complaining. Okay. So you're making up for it now.
Yes.
No bedtime now. So
That first wave of kids, you know, we do all the mistakes on them. They get all the harshest treatment,
yes,
but
of course.
see, your daughter's amazing. See, it all works out.
Yes, it
It
does.
works.
I try telling them that, but they're not sold yet. All right, so let's go over freebies because you've got all the freebies. So go ahead and
Screen share. Okay, let me pull it up here.
tell me if you can't do it. Hopefully you can.
Share Chrome. Okay. All right. Can you see it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's start here. I can't say it. Access Byte. This one is free while schools are closed. So this is a really cool website that usually you have to pay, but right now it's free. So you can take advantage of that one. Another one here is 123 Homeschool for Me. This has just a ton. Have you used any of these websites?
I have. I need to write them down so I can link to them in the comments.
Yeah, this one's a really popular one. Here's a cool one, New American History, because I see a lot of people ask, what about like newer American history, you know? So this one has a lot of the 20th century and all these things here, newer things, lots of videos and things. Let's see what else here. Duolingo. This is a great time to learn a new language, especially think of the benefits for soul winning and things like that. So, you know, this is free. You can do this one for free, learning another language. Here's another one, Knowledge on the Go. This seems to be a really popular one that a lot of parents are using right now with school closures. And you can see there's all the different grades and algebra, geometry, lots of resources there. That one's free. Mm-hmm. Khan Academy, that's obviously a really popular one. That one's free as well. So they're keeping it free with everything going on. Let's see here. I have on my website, ourhousehomeschooling.com. So I have an audiobook directory that's all free. So this is a great time to pop in an audiobook, click on it during meals, during downtime, nap time, anytime. So these are all great, clean, good titles for free. And I also have here on my website other free tools, everything from math, everyday number stories. That is a really great free, let me see if it'll pull up here, a free math thing for 5-year-olds, like 5-6-year-olds. As you can see, it starts out really simple. It's a really darling, cute little math book here.
And I have a good printer now, so I can print these off.
Yes, print away. This is really worth it. It's kind of like a little bit Raise Arithmetic, but easier, like the first level. I really love that.
Do you feel like you could totally homeschool for free if you had to?
Absolutely. Anybody can. If you have internet access, library card, yes, but I don't even think you need a library card because there's so much online. What we pay for is convenience. So what is that convenience cost for you? Do you want to have everything done, laid out for you, have all the books in your home already? Or if you're willing to use online resources, you really could go for free. Ron Paul, this one has a free Math 1A and Reading 1A. So this is like your kindergarten, first grade, Raise Arithmetic. You can see the lessons here. And they also have a reading course that teaches kids how to read. So, and this is free. They do their first 2 courses for free and then you have to pay, but you don't have to sign up for anything. Here are the lessons. And I know people that have used just this to teach their kids how to read. So if you want to do something online, you know, just outsourcing this part, you know, you could try this. It's free. Phonics resources, reading, lots of language arts. If you like Little House on the Prairie things, there's activity books, study guides, primary language lessons. This is, you know, Emma Searle. This is a very popular language lessons for primary ages. You can find that one for free here. I use this with my kids when they're just starting out, like for copywork or little language things. That's free online. Penmanship, there's a ton. Here's free KJV Proverbs copywork. That's really cool. So they can, I really like this one. You can make your own copybooks with this.
What is that one called?
It's a weird link.
Oh.
CYNCES place.com.
Okay.
yeah, Cincy. I don't know how to say that. But
These place.
yeah, it's you have free
Since
KJV copy work.
okay. Cool.
Then we have, history. This is a resource that I like, The Real History of Mankind. It's like a Christian history book. It goes through everything from the very beginning.
Pretty much like find all of these links on your website.
A lot of them, yeah. Some of those, the programs that I mentioned first, like Knowledge on the Go, things like that. That's, I don't have that on here. I should add that and make it a one-stop shop. But yeah, Letter of the Week, all of this is free. Let's see, anything else really good? You can even find, somebody told me about this, Ashley, discounted laptops for homeschool students. If you do need a laptop, they have these discounts for homeschool students. So
wow,
you can check that out as well. Yeah, you can find anything and even if you need to make transcripts for your state.
I do. Why did I not know about this? What in the world?
I really like this one, this transcript creator. You can put in the credit hours, the name, everything. You can make it look really official. You don't have to pay for that. You could do that yourself. I know Donna Young, she also has transcript examples, things too. Donna Young, that's a great resource too. That's an oldie but goodie, always great resources. So that's what I have for free stuff.
Very good. Yeah, the only one I really even knew about was Khan Academy.
There's so much. And we didn't even really talk about apps. That's just website distance learning. But yeah, there's a ton.
But yeah, your website, your website's packed full of stuff.
And I do have free printables on my website too. If you like the idea of like tracking your errors, I have this as a free printable and some other things on there too.
Did you ever make it available to buy your books, your Spirebound books, or did you decide not to go that way?
No, it is. If you go on the website and you click on our house products, they have there's an essay book. And I like the essay book because it has a place to write your frequently misspelled words that they always misspell and how to write an essay, error tracking, a math workbook that has graph paper and then different blocks to make it nice and neat. Different products like that.
Nice. So yeah, that's what we were going to go. We're kind of going, those are the freebies. Like I said, you can pretty much, if you just want to spend the next month, I'm thinking it's going to go at least a month. If you want to spend the next month just doing all the freebies that were listed, they would learn a lot just by doing that.
Yes.
They keep up.
You can get math stuff. Even if you want to do like textbook, like the kindergarten one that I found, or you could do it online. There's options for both for free, and then you have whatever kind of program to teach them how to read, and then any kind of reading list after that, and writing, even if they just write every day, and then do something like that, language lessons for free. You really could do it all for free.
Good. So I don't even know if we need to go down different curriculums. Most people, I don't know, some people might like this so much. My sister actually told me, a different one from the one that asked how many hours. She even told me, she said, I am seriously considering just going back to homeschooling full time because she used to homeschool our kids. So, maybe you'll like it and maybe you'll find out that it's not as difficult as you thought. I think that's I think either two things. I think they're going to be so completely overwhelmed with these are the people that are trying to work from home.
Yes.
And, homeschooling at the same time. They're going to be so completely overwhelmed. They're going to be like, I never want to do this again.
Right.
Or number two, they'll find out this really is not as bad as I thought. I'm kind of learning with the kids. This is great. And so they'll want to stick with it. So I think one or two things will happen, when it comes to that. But
yes. And just your attitude, your perception, how you view things, it's going to make a really big difference.
Mm-hmm. Now, I like the type of curriculum that I pay for it. I pay for my curriculum because I want it all done for me.
Yes.
But I don't know. I did Mrs. Anderson's book for the first half of this, and I loved it. It's, and hopefully I'm going to have an impromptu talk with her sometime in the next week or two to discuss her new book that she just released. And that is interest-based learning, but all from the library.
Books. Yes.
Yeah. Which I know right now you can't, my library completely shut down because of the order that the governor did. They're not even doing curbside anymore. But I know most of the time when the library is open, that's a great resource to have because she lists like every single book, Some of them might be available on ebooks right now, but that's one thing too I wanted to mention is if your library is shut down, they do have ebooks and things you can listen to.
Yes, there's
So,
Overdrive, there's Hoopla. I've been getting a lot of them still through Hoopla, RB Digital. There's lots of free apps that you can get books on.
yeah, so that's a good thing to look into too. But I mean, even my sister had even picked up just some Walmart workbooks. You
Yeah.
know? So then that
Yeah, and I wanted to show you too, this is a great alternative if you want to homeschool, but I mean, this is probably one of the cheapest routes to go. The core knowledge series, like what your first grader needs to know, it goes all the way up. What your second grader needs to know, it goes all the way up. And it has math. It just doesn't give you problems. It just tells you what you should know as far as math. It teaches the concept, but it has grammar, it has history, geography, science. So you can get for, 4 or 5 books on Amazon used, and this is your whole curriculum. Then you could just do some extra work problems, based on what concepts they're doing. You could get that for free, or like you said, just order Walmart workbooks for math. My kids really like to do these for fun. They have these Star Wars one. They're like $4 or $5, and they're really cool. And yeah, this is just for math. So yeah,
my kids would probably like those too.
they're really fun. They really like them.
That's funny. So yeah, there's just a whole bunch of this stuff that you can do, but I have my main curriculum I use, and Karen she does the Robinson curriculum with her kids, which focuses mainly on the math, the reading, and writing. Correct? Yes, the 3 R's.
It's 2 hours it's supposed to be 2 hours of Saxon math, 1 hour of writing. The only thing the parent does is correct the essay, give feedback, give it back to them, they rewrite it or fix it. There's some vocabulary, and there is a grammar program if you want to use it. And then the main thing is reading for 2 hours from a book list that they give you a progression. You just kind of go through it. So except for the math books, the traditional Saxon math, there's really, it's not really grades. There's no grade levels. You just kind of progress.
I thought it was so cute when I was at your house. I was one of those annoying people that ask homeschool questions, And Ellie, I asked her, so what grade are you in? And she was like, I don't really know.
They always ask me that.
It was so cute. She's like, I think I'm like, what is it? Is it like 6 or she's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the parent that's always looking, like typing in the phone, what grade is an 11-year-old in? I don't know. They just go through their Saxon math books and the book list. So yeah, it's a little different. Yeah.
It's fine. It is. Even your kids are learning. That's the most important thing. So let's go over the last part. I really wanted to spend time on this. I know we're getting close to 8. My son is here with me, and he has to get up at 2:30 to work. So I told him,
wow.
I'll try to cut it off pretty close to 8 so you can get home because he's my ride. But let's go over, not stressing the little stuff while this is going on. So you want to jump into that?
Yeah, so I was reading an article because I follow all the trending homeschool articles. I do a Google alert. And something that I thought was really important is they said you need to prioritize play and unstructured time during this pandemic, especially. For example, it talked about, a family where the kid was playing board games. I think it was Risk or something. And he was playing with the little character saying, oh, no, I can't shake your hand because you might have the coronavirus. Okay, so don't freak out, parents. Just think, okay, this is how they're processing what's going on. They need time to play, and that's the way that they're going to get through this and process what's going on. So let them play. Play is super important right now.
Yes, I agree with that because, my daughter, we were talking about the coronavirus or something last night, and we're not freaking out about it at our home. We're just like, well, we're going to try to stay in. We're going to try to abide by it. We're not going to try to take, like my kids have pretty much been at home this is going on the 2nd week now, with the exception of the church services that we've gone to. So, but they know what's going on. And Lana was kind of laying on my lap, and she looked up at me and she said, Mom, are we going to die? you know?
Oh.
And I was like, Lana, why would you ask that? And she's like, because of all this stuff going around. And I was like, well, we're going to die someday, but I don't think it's going to be soon. I said, I don't think we're going to die from this virus. You don't need to worry about that. So, you know, it is going into their head a lot. So maybe spend more one-on-one time and snuggling time. She wanted to snuggle with me at night before she went to bed, before she went to sleep. So I let her, and she's not normally like that. So I could tell she just needed to be close to me, you know, last night. So
Yeah, and board games is a great way to, like playing chess. We love to play chess. So that gives you time to let them talk to you in between moving the pieces. And yeah, just really take it easy, you know, let them play, play board games with them, have some one-on-one time if you can, and go outside, breathe, get that vitamin D, right? Just take it easy.
Like 30 degrees here right now. It's supposed to warm up by next week, hopefully. I'm so sick of the cold.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Got a ton of snow last night. It was really depressing. But another thing,
it's board game time.
yes, board game time, hot chocolate, board game time. We have this game called, what is it? What is that game I got? No, I can't even remember it. My brother-in-law bought it for me. It's really fun. It's one of the, you know, like German-made board games or something for Christmas. And that's our favorite right now, even though I can't remember the name of it.
Was it Pandemic, Fall of Rome? I have a list here.
No. What are some of your favorites?
Okay, let me share with you because I was looking up what are the best educational, right, board games for this time. So here's one that's funny. It's called Pandemic, and it is about fighting a disease, and you have to try to keep the world safe from outbreaks and epidemics. I can't believe the prices on some of these board games, but I guess if you play them over and over again, it'll be worth it. But here's 5 Tribes. I think this is one of those German ones. I don't know, but this one is really popular and it has a lot of math in it. You wouldn't think that. Sushi Go is another one. Here's a fun one for like older kids, teens too. Escape Room in a Box. Have you seen these games?
I've seen them. Yeah, I've never played one.
That would be really fun for the family. But yeah, this is the one I was telling you about, Pandemic, Fall of Rome. Kind of like the same thing with Pandemic, but it's a really popular one right now. Let's see here. Through the Ages, if you have teens who can really sit down for a long time, this is one of those really long ones. But
$60. Scroll down on your Amazon thing. Let me see some of the ones related to this.
Yeah, Solar Quest, East Front.
We have the one about, what is it? I cannot remember any names right now.
Crusader Rex?
No, the one that you go through, you build the trains or whatever.
Oh, Ticket to Ride?
Yes, Ticket to Ride. We have Ticket to Ride Europe.
I really want to buy that one. Here's a biology, really great cytosis. This is if you want to talk about what's going on with the virus and everything. That's cool. Applicable. And I think I have one more here, Compounded for Chemistry. If you have a hard time teaching chemistry or your kids with chemistry, this one looks like a really cool game. So yeah, learning through board games is a real thing. You know, and I've done some videos on science ones too with Dante Loretta and his science related board games. It really does. They learn a lot.
That's really cool. Yeah, yes. Those like a lot of cool board games. So then that way, for chemistry. Whoops. Sorry about the echo.
I hate the sound of my voice.
I was not getting any chat at all, and it was because it wasn't refreshing. That's why I had to just refresh it, and that's why you heard yourself. Oh man, I missed so much chat. Okay. Oh, let me go up here. There's a lot of questions. I did want to take questions, so
yes. Yeah, I think we pretty much talked about everything on the outline.
Yeah, I mainly just wanted to, focus on giving you and your kids grace, really not stressing about this time. Just doing a little bit every day. As long as you're doing a little bit every day and you're keeping up with them reading and things like that, they're going to get it.
Yes,
they're definitely going to get it.
I read too in an article, different ages have different needs during this time. Middle school kids, let them keep in touch with their friends. You know, if they're in isolation, they're not seeing do Zoom, do FaceTime. You know, friendships at that age are really important. Yes. So let them still keep in touch with their friends.
Yeah, I definitely try that. Okay, let's go over some of these questions. Miriam asked, I have 3-year-old twin boys and a 5-month-old baby boy. Any tips on teaching 3-year-olds how to read and write? This is something that has really been stressing me out lately. My tip is don't.
Don't.
Your tip.
Abort, like that emoji. No.
Yes. Do not. You're already stressing yourself out and you have a 5-month-old. No, 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 no.
I don't even start till 5.
No.
Just starting to do like a work, you know, learning how to read, nothing till 5.
Yep. Same here. I started at 4 with my 3 oldest and it was stupid. And on my part, I'm not calling you stupid. I was that overachiever. I was the type A personality. It has to be this way. Boom, boom, boom. And now I regret that I pushed them so hard when they were little.
Yes, I do too.
Why I've slacked off on the last 4. But
I think that's just a normal thing when it's your first one or second. You just want to hurry up and get started, do a little bit more than just keeping them entertained. And you think it's going to be easier because they're doing something, but it's not. I like to think of it, is it easier to dig a hole during the winter when there's ice on the ground or during summer? Just wait until summer.
That is a good comparison. I like that. Yes. Give yourself some grace. Let them be little. Once they start in school at 5, they've got 12 years, 13 years ahead of them where they're going to be doing school. So just let them be little as long as they can.
You know, and that early time, I would say focus on character. Read a lot of character stories. You know, there's lots of Bible things to do with characters, like different books and curriculums. Just focus on honesty and love, loyalty, truthful, all of it. Just you want to focus on something, work on character.
Very good. And I've heard that, you know, the most formative years of a child's life are 0 to 5.
Yes.
So those are the most formative. Kelly Spears asked, what are your must-read books for kids, no matter the curriculum?
Must-read books for kids.
That would be like, I really like the ones that my kids read with their literature. And that's just the books that are in the ACE curriculum that goes along with it. There's some good ones in there. They actually have read, in the older literature, they've read books like The Hiding Place, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if I think of, you would know more about the books than me.
Well, you know, just with my kids, I see, you know, Five Little Peppers, that series. You know, you're looking for those books that have those character qualities. That's one of them. Ellie really likes Elsie Dinsmore books. I know there's some things there with, I don't know if it's like a Calvinist series, but you know, we talk about.
Yeah, Karen, I know what you're talking about because I read that when I was growing up and they had like a whole free Kindle version.
Yes.
And so I downloaded it. And as I'm reading it, I kind of almost feel bad for her in a way.
Yeah. But you know, it makes the kids appreciate what they have. Like Ellie's like, wow, I'm really grateful for the parents that I have, the life that I have. So at least let them read it for that reason.
Yeah, because I'm like, I kind of feel bad for her. She's trying her best and it's never good enough. And he's always like, you could have had a better attitude about it.
Yes.
So yeah, read at your own discretion.
But you know, I had a Beautiful Girlhood. That's a new recommendation that I got that looks really good. Yeah. So I'm trying to think what else. Aesop's Fables. You know, again, just like character stories.
And G.H. Henty books are good for really good, especially for boys. Very action packed.
Yes, you could do historical fiction is a great way to learn about history, especially G.A. Henty. He really tried to keep it as accurate as possible to that time period.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Nicole said she does Robinson curriculum and she loves it.
Yay, Nicole. Glad to hear it.
So Jessica said, my 2 oldest children learned by 3 and 4, and I didn't do much. I read to them a lot and showed them alphabet and phonics videos, and then one day they just started reading.
Yeah, they say, you know, I have a book, Reading Magic, and it talks a lot about that. Read aloud a lot to them. That is one thing that they could naturally kind of pick it up. So if you want to do something, read aloud a lot.
Nicole asked, Karen, is there a guideline for about how old and where the kids should about be on the reading list? I know it's not concrete, but I'm curious if there's an estimate.
Well, you can kind of just by trial and error pick a book. And I have this video where to place them on the RC list on my channel, where you kind of take a group of 100 words and let them read it aloud to you. If they get more than 5 wrong, it's on their frustration level. Then you probably have to go back. You want that sweet spot where, you know, it's instructional level. There's easy, instructional, and then it's too hard, frustrating. They're not learning. So easy, that's great for just independent reading. You know, they're going to pick up those books that are easy for them. But during kind of like that instructional time, that school period, you want it to be just right. So yeah, I would say just grab 100 words out of the book. If they get way too many wrong, go back on the list.
That's an interesting way of doing it. I like that. Okay, so she said I stop at around less than 70 as it gets a little stressful after that, but it's easy, simple exercises to work with, but I really wouldn't stress. Oh, I don't know. I think she's talking to someone else. I missed so much chat, so I'm trying to do Sky said that she is going to hit you up for the printables because she has to homeschool the rest of the year probably. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, there's lots of resources out there.
And then Monica said there's a great book, Better Late Than Early, talking about, I think, teaching kids to read. So, and then Crystal asked, are there any tips on getting them interested in reading while making it fun? How not to stress them out if they're really discouraged?
Just let them see you reading. That's my big, during reading time, that 2-hour window, it's so tempting for me to do something else, but I will sit on the couch and I will get my book out and read. So if they see you, it's like, you know, if you're playing the piano, they want to play the piano. Whatever you do, they're going to try to emulate you. So reading aloud at night, if you don't get to do it any other time during the day, reading aloud a story to them at night and letting them see you enjoying, you know, doing it, reading it aloud, get into it, do some character voices, you know, ask questions, make it engaging, you know, say, where did we leave off last time? Who can give us the summary? And then read the chapter and talk about it and incorporate it in your day. Yeah, there's so many activities. Like if you're doing Little House on the series, there's so many activities and things and recipes, so you can weave it into your day.
Yeah. No, I was reading A Long Walk to Water. Have you ever read that? I was reading A Long Walk to Water to my kids, and we have not finished it, and I feel so guilty now. So I'm going to start that back up tonight.
Did you ever read His Banner Over Me? I'm reading that one. And it's like a missionary story. But yeah, you know, it's tough because if you don't love the story, it's hard to read it. If you pick a story that you're interested in and you want to read it to them every night, but if it's a story that you're like, oh, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to get through. Then the kids are invested and they want to hear the endings, then you got to get through it.
Well, one of my girls said the other day, they're like, Mom, we need to find out what happens in that book. You need to start reading it again.
Yeah, they won't let you forget it.
No, they don't. So someone asked about boys' recommendations for like 5 to 8. And then Alicia said, Karen recommended graphic novels on one of her YouTube channels. It was a game changer for my son in regards to getting my son interested in reading. So
yes. Those are great. You know, just be careful with them. Look at them first. But I had that Helen Keller graphic novel that my kids just love. There's some good ones out there. You just have to take your time and source them at the library or look online. And for boys, you know, I think, is it Dog Man? That one's so popular.
Yeah, someone said comics like Dog Man, Captain Underpants.
I'm more of a fan of some than others, but yeah, they will get you. And just keep that in mind too. You know, if you're just giving them, I call them like the sugary books, then they're not going to want to read like the old classics, meaty books. So, you know, just keep it in moderation. Make sure that you have time for both, you know.
Right. Yeah. And I guess, you know, one of the main things that you said is so important is just having your kids be interested in reading because you're reading. And I guess the same thing could go for anything, you know, cooking, cleaning, yes, laundry, have your kids do it alongside of you. That's how my daughters have learned to cook because they're in there with me doing it. You know, make it interesting. I mean, home ec time. Let's go do home ec.
Budget, economics, it's all there. Yeah.
Exactly. Marissa, your kids read really, really well. She said my oldest learned to read just by me reading a lot to her by her 3rd birthday. That's crazy.
Wow. There's some kids out there that are like that.
And Esther reads really, really well. She's only 5. She amazes me. She's a smart kid. And then Dawn asked, what is the best way to grow your child's vocabulary?
So the Robinson curriculum has vocabulary with it. And I like to do it with them because it helps me with my vocabulary. Like these are some of the words my daughter's working on. A printer, noxious, but it has like the sentence in the back, how to use it in a sentence in context, and then, you know, the definition. And it's supposed to be some that are in the books, but it also takes all the SAT words and whatever was not found in the books, they'll divide it into the books. So you could do something like that. But there's also Quizlet. Quizlet is a free app, a free website. And you can do Dolch sight words for younger kids. I recommend doing that. And then they have on there too, Robinson curriculum book lists, these vocab words. So you can do it free through there as well. I try to stay off screens as much as possible, but you know, if you're okay with that, you could do Quizlet on your phone or on the website and do the same thing.
Those are like old English words. Jamestown settlement words.
Some of the words that I find on here, you know, they are funny. I probably can't say them on YouTube because I don't know, you'll get a strike or something. But they're in here.
Them right. You're thinking it's right. No, she'll be.
Yeah.
You know, Ellie will be like, "Would you like a spotted tea on this?" Beautiful.
But you know, it's funny because it can seem like a foreign language if you don't read the books where you hear these words. So that's why you should read aloud some books to them, those older classics, you know, and a lot of these too, you'll find in the King James Bible. So that's important why you should read aloud books like that so they hear it in context and it's not like a foreign language.
Yeah, old English.
Yeah.
1911 version. And then Carla asked, do you have some free websites for moms to learn more about nutrition?
Dawn has some great videos on her channel.
Yep, Dawning.
Yes. I think she's going to come out with a video on supplements too. So coming soon. Spoiler alert.
New Day Dawning and subscribe to her for some nice workouts that we can all do during this pandemic. And then also check out, maybe she'll link to some good sites to learn about nutrition.
Mrs. Anderson, she has some good videos on her channel too with like losing weight while you're breastfeeding and, you know, all that stuff too on her channel.
I don't know any off the top of my head. I just Google everything. So I don't really know any off the top of my head. But yeah, it's just, you know, the main thing that we wanted to get across is, you know, your attitude about this whole thing is going to rub off on your kids. So if you're panicking, they're panicking. If you remain calm, they're going to remain calm. You'll get through this. It's not the end of the world being stuck in a house for a month with your family. I've actually been enjoying the slower paced life. I've been baking more. So I'm probably going to be like 30 pounds heavier when this is all done.
There's a lot of comfort eating for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I've been just going outside and laying on the grass and just soaking up the sun and just reading more. Before the library closed, I really loaded up. So I have a ton of books. So yeah, just enjoy the slower pace.
Yeah, definitely. It's not always, you know, Americans, we're so crazy busy all the time. So think of this as a blessing in disguise. You know, just we can't change anything about it right now. So it's out of our control. And I feel like that's why a lot of people are panicking, because they feel like they're not in control anymore of their life. And I understand that because I've had those thoughts too. But in this area of your home, you can control the atmosphere and the attitude. So try your best to just show yourself grace, show your kids grace, and, you know, have a calm attitude, a calm approach to this. So that's probably the best thing you can do.
And you can think of this time as troubleshooting time. You know, we get really busy, especially if you have a large family. I don't want to say you get more relaxed, you know, as the more kids you have and you see some behavior and you kind of, oh, you're tired and you let it go. So this is a great time to really look at them, watch them, what they're doing, and troubleshoot the behavior. I have a book here I really like. It's called The Absolute Quickest Way to Help Your Child. And the formula, it's like a 4 magic question I wanted to share here is, what do I see? So the bad behavior you're seeing. What do I want to see? How is what I see being encouraged? So any kind of bad behavior, it's there because in some way, shape, or form, it's being encouraged. So think about how it's being encouraged. And then how can I encourage what I want to see and discourage everything else? So this is a great time to really work on stuff like that.
What's that called again?
It's called The Absolute Quickest Way to Help Your Child Change by Fred Ray Librand. This is like one of my homeschooling mentors. And this book It's a quick, easy read. It's fantastic. But any problem that you see with your child, you're encouraging it in some way. So you got to change it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now's a great time to work on stuff like that.
Yes, it really is. And plus, you're with them 24/7, and tensions are kind of running a little high because of that. And so things are going to come up. Things are going to come out.
Yes.
So
yeah, so it's a good time to talk and connect and see why and all that good stuff.
It is. So I will try to link to all the websites down below. Hopefully by tomorrow, if I get up an hour early tomorrow for my kids,
a lot, yeah.
do it before lessons. But if not, then maybe not till Friday. So just look for that. And thanks for joining, guys. Monica said a comment. She left. Education is an atmosphere, a discipline, and a life by Charlotte Mason said that. So, and then Crystal said, I think God is using this for good, for families to focus less on the outside world, the craziness of work, and focus on growing in his word and grow even closer. So, I mean, families are eating together again at the dinner table instead of, eating out or, eating at different parts of the house. So families are eating together. They're spending more time together. So it can be a good thing to focus on that.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, thanks, Karen, for coming on.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
I forgot what I'm doing next week. So stay tuned for that, for a teaser. Hopefully by Friday's newsletter, I will have that in there. So we will see you guys next week. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff. So hang on the line, Karen, after I end this. So we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.